All right, a little bit of a hitch there getting started. First time I clicked go live and it said it wasn't available. So I don't know. I guess I'm about a minute or two late, but hope you'll forgive me. Anyway, I see I already have a couple of people in the room. I appreciate you joining me. I wanted to come back and do this again this week. I had a good response last week. The that first live stream I did, I broke over 100 views. That's good enough for me. If I can find my audience again, I'll keep this going. I want to give you a little bit more of a refined take. I don't know if it's a refined take, an additional take on the Gold Cup and the Christian Pulisic stuff and all that. But I'm going to get out of the way first because there's more I want to talk about. I'm starting to get excited about the Club World Cup, and I want to finish on that. It was a big weekend for MLS in terms of you had that LAFC Club America play-in match for the Club World Cup. And then something I forgot to talk about last week was that this year's CONCACAF Champions Cup was finishing up on Sunday. And that was Vancouver going to play Cruz Azul. And they had that final on Sunday night. So I want to knock those out. I want to get to those in a minute. But let me just go ahead and first, I want to come back to this Christian Pulisic situation. So, so I've seen professional pundits and analysts and former athletes and everything come out. The opinion is split on this. Some are feeling the way I am. Others I've seen say, look, Pulisic doesn't need to play this camp. He has played a lot of minutes. He needs to have his body in good shape for next year. He wants to make sure he's in best possible shape for the World Cup next year. He's got another long European season ahead of him next year. And he doesn't have anything to prove to into the national program. Well, you know, that all may be true, but that still doesn't get him off the hook, in my opinion. There's several other things to look at here. And the main one for me is that this is still a new manager who has yet to get his full top choice roster all together at the same time. And when I said this is like the last major competitive event before next year's World Cup, it's more to it than that, okay? Because there will be some additional windows, additional matches that he could call Pulisic back into, and maybe Pulisic says yes. If it were me, I wouldn't call him at all. But they're just going to be friendlies or just like these like two matches within a week, kind of international window. But the Gold Cup is a tournament, and it's going to replicate the rhythm of the World Cup in terms of having a group stage and a bunch of games early on close together and then going into a knockout stage. And so instead of just having the camp and the guys together for a week or so, a few days before you're playing, there's an extended camp. You get at least 3 weeks together as a team, which is precious time for a national team that generally doesn't spend that much time together. And it's an opportunity to get everybody together under the new coach for an extended period of time in a tournament situation, replicating the battle rhythm of the World Cup. And to me, that is vital. Coming off of last year's embarrassment in the Copa America, coming off our embarrassment in the Nations League in March, and with the growing perception that the players on our team don't care, and they don't care about the colors they're representing, and they don't have enough fire and passion when they play. The optics of that, I mean, in addition to missing this tournament situation, it just gets worse, in my opinion. It just makes it worse. And so I found out more about the other key absences. Jedi Robinson is hurt. He just had a surgery. He's got to be ready. Here's the other thing about Pulisic. I'm sorry, I'm skipping around already. He's going to play. After he said he wasn't coming to Gold Cup, he's played again for AC Milan. And now, when the World Cup happens next year, he's going to have just come off another full season in Italy. He's going to have played just as many minutes. His body's going to be just as tired. Is he going to wimp out of the World Cup? Is he expecting to get called for the World Cup after being this way? I don't know. Anyway, what I just don't get it. I don't get it. And the more I think about it, the more like I just really don't want to call him at all. Like, he can be done. It's like, sorry we bothered you, Mr. Pulisic. It won't happen again. Stay home. Maybe the women's team will call you. I don't know. Anyway, going back to these other absences, Jedi Robinson is hurt, just had knee surgery. The other three key guys, Tim Weah, Gio Reyna, Weston McKennie, they're missing the Gold Cup because they're playing in the Club World Cup. Now, I'm starting to get excited about the Club World Cup, and I'm going to talk about that here in this video. But the Gold Cup is taking place inside an official FIFA international window. And what that means is that if a national manager makes the call to invite the player into camp, that player's club can't say no. The player can decline it, but the club can't just flat out unilaterally block that. If it's during an official window, the club has to release him for international duty. And you've got Weah and Reyna and McKinney playing for their club during an international window. So what that tells me, I haven't seen this anywhere, but what I'm forced to conclude is they also simply chose not to come play for the United States. And that's not cool with me. That's not any better than what Pulisic did. And I don't know. It's a real problem. There seems to be this pervasive, casual, entitled attitude among our top players from the national program. It doesn't seem to be getting any better. And I saw a recent comment from Pochettino where he was talking publicly about how, like, look, he named big stars around the world. He goes, they're always looking to play for the national team. It doesn't matter what kind of match it is and what's at stake. I think he's frustrated too, and I would be. So, you might think, I wonder if cooler heads prevailed this past week. And I'm hearing from experts that know the game better than me, giving a different opinion. But no, I'm entrenched even further the more I think about it. And if I'm right that Weah, Reyna, and McKinney also simply declined to come play for the United States during this Gold Cup so they can play in the Club World Cup, I don't know. I got a problem with that. I sort of have a problem with it. Now, I don't know how much money is playing a factor. I've learned about the prize money and how much FIFA is throwing in the Club World Cup. And it's kind of eye-opening. And it's part of what has me excited about that tournament. I'm separating these things in my mind. But anyway, I'm going to move on now. I'm going to leave that behind. You tell me what you think about Pulisic and the Gold Cup and these other guys declining. I want to hear from you. I got Smoke Signal in the room with me. Hey, I don't know what happened last time. I think that the chat conversation is supposed to stay with the video after we're not live anymore. And you had a question last week that I answered, but then that chat history went away after the stream ended. I'm not sure why. I hope that it doesn't happen this time. You were asking, I think, who chooses the captain, and I responded, but I don't know. It seems to have been lost. And that is, it's generally the manager who picks the captain, and he's looking to pick someone to be the on-field leader. Typically, you want somebody that has the respect of the rest of his teammates, somebody that's going to have a presence on the field that his teammates will listen to, but also, he's the one that's supposed to talk to the ref. And so he's supposed to have an understanding of the game. And he's someone, it's like your quarterback on the field, someone that as a manager, you want to be able to trust a little bit. And so that's generally how it goes. Sometimes if you got a big enough star, like when Messi joined Inter Miami, he just kind of automatically got the captain's armband. I don't know. So there's no set criteria. It's just up to the manager. Anyway, I'm going to move on real quick. The CONCACAF Champions Cup was on Sunday night. Vancouver is a team that surprised everybody. I mentioned it briefly. They're in a bad situation with the owner trying to sell them, and they had a change in managers, but they have done incredibly well. Like they for a long time, they were at the top of the table in the whole league by some margin, and they just kept beating people, and even doing something that nobody else has done in MLS, which is having success in CONCACAF, while at the same time still having success in the regular season. They were like the first ones to do it. They were continuing through this tournament and staying at the top of the table at the same time. And it's just like, what kind of magic is happening in Vancouver? They've slowed down a little bit. They've lost that top form. They're still in first place, I think, in the West. I don't think they're in first place in the league. So the gap's closed a little bit. And by the way, their path to this CONCACAF final went through Miami, and they destroyed them. And it was a motivated, like full squad, Miami, full effort, and they got destroyed by Vancouver. Anyway, the final did not go our way. Cruz Azul from Liga MX destroyed them 5-0. There's a lot I can get into that with how rosters are constructed and how the salary cap and the finances work in the two leagues. I'm going to save that kind of thought for a different video. I'm going to try and make this as short as possible. Because right now I want to talk about the Club World Cup. Even though I'm frustrated at those three guys that I think simply declined to come play in the Gold Cup for this tournament, the more I'm learning about this, the more I'm excited about it and the more I want to like it. I hope, and it seems to me it's fairly obvious that FIFA also hopes that this is going to become a big deal. I don't know, it's a tough sell for the clubs, but just let me lay it out for you. For the first time, the Club World Cup is 32 teams, and it's taking place. It starts on the same day in the same window as the Gold Cup. Okay, and you got some of the top teams in the world, obviously, right? And you got like Inter Milan, Inter Madrid, you got Inter Milan, you've got Juventus, you got Borussia Dortmund, you got Chelsea, you got Manchester City, some of the biggest clubs in the world. They're all coming here to play in this tournament. And what I've learned is the prize money at stake. Now, before I get to that, I'm sorry, this is what happens when you go live. I don't get it in the right order. We need to talk about the fact that LA and Club America had their play-in match Saturday night. Los Angeles won that match, and they won it in fine form. They were clearly the better team on the night. It took a long time to get the game winner because they had given up a goal from the penalty spot earlier in the match. Actually, to open the scoring, Club America got that penalty kick. So it ended up, they got a late equalizer, like 89th minute. It goes into 30 minutes of extra time, and 5 minutes before the end of that, 5 minutes away from having to settle this final spot in the tournament with kicks, LA gets the winner. And so they come away with that spot. So now we have 3 MLS teams in the Club World Cup. That goal that was scored in the 115th minute by Dennis Bowenga, a $10 million goal. Teams from CONCACAF, I say 10 million, 9.55. Teams from CONCACAF are awarded $9.55 million in prize money just for making the tournament. That was a $9 million goal that guy scored. So I was looking, I got some numbers. I'm going to throw some numbers at you. Listen to the prize money that's given out for competitions that MLS clubs participate in. If you win the MLS Cup, the team is paid $300,000. If you win the US Open Cup, you get $1 million. Oh, by the way, the Supporter Shield for having the best regular season record in MLS, no prize money at all. A lot of people consider that they feel like that should be the most coveted trophy because it shows excellence across the entire season and not just getting hot in the playoffs. There's no prize money for it. No prize money for that. $300,000 for MLS Cup, $1 million for the US Open Cup. And that represents a big bump from where it was very recently. Now, the Leagues Cup is that tournament between MLS and Liga MX that happens in the summer, interrupts both seasons, and it's this thing they just made up a couple years ago. That pays $2 million, $2 million to the winner of the whole thing. If you make it to CONCACAF Champions Cup and you win CONCACAF, which is has been MLS's that's the dream every year, is to get a team in the final and to win it. If you win CONCACAF Champions Cup, $5 million. 5. You get basically 10 just for making the field in this Club World Cup, in this newly expanded Club World Cup. That's incredible to me. So you get into the Club World Cup by winning CONCACAF Champions Cup. So if you win CONCACAF, that's basically a $15 million match because you're winning $5 million for winning that tournament, and you're getting another 10 just for joining the other tournament. And you might ask, how much do you get if you win the Club World Cup? This is astounding to me. The Club World Cup gives out prize money per win. And because of the group stage, you don't necessarily have to win every match. It's hard to give a set, like definite amount that the champion ends up winning, but they can win up to $125 million for the Club World Cup. So that tells me one thing. That tells me that FIFA wants this to work. They are throwing a bunch of money at this, basically trying to buy the clubs to give it emphasis. Okay. The challenge is that it's taking place in the summertime, and the regular season for basically everybody else in the world except MLS, the regular season's over. This is typically their off season. Players do need to rest at some point, and so I feel like what we're going to see is, I don't know. I haven't seen the rosters. I haven't seen the squads. I don't know if they've been announced. Maybe you know better than I do. But I feel like we're not going to get the top team, the top squad. Like, these are the names of these clubs are huge. They're massive, biggest in the world. But are we going to get their top players? Probably not. Probably going to get their reserves. And, that's a tough sell. That's a tough sell for fans if you're not getting the real team. And so with this kind of money at stake, I don't know. Maybe some teams will take it seriously. And maybe that, this is an opportunity for players like Reina and McKinney to be able to play. Maybe there's too much money personally hitting their pocketbooks, or at least potentially hitting their pocketbooks, for them to even feel like they can turn their back on the Club World Cup. So maybe it's just the vast amount of money in the Club World Cup that's keeping them from joining the Gold Cup. I don't know, but I'm astounded by this money. The top prize in CONCACAF is half of what you get for just making the field in the Club World Cup. That's I don't know. That's insane, but it also gets me excited. Like, you know what? Maybe this is going to be okay. Maybe these European teams aren't bringing their best squad, and we've got three teams in the mix: Seattle, LAFC, and Inter Miami. And Major League Soccer is opening a special transfer window just for those three teams, allowing them to make additions to their roster, sign new players right now, just before the Club World Cup. And so they have an opportunity to bolster their roster and make a real push at this. I don't know. Maybe it's going to happen. I found out that all these games are going to be available for free. They're streaming for free on a platform, I have to be honest, I've never heard of before. I don't know if it's new or not, but I've never heard of it, called DAZN. I think I heard somebody pronounce it DAZN. This is a sports streaming service. And I don't know if it's always free and everything's free all the time, but I do know that the Club World Cup, all the matches will be shown there for free. You have to sign up, but it doesn't cost anything. And so I'm excited about that because I've cut the cord. I don't have cable. And if it doesn't come on a streaming service, then I'm not going to see it. And I'm not real inclined to pay for streamers. So if it's streaming for free, guess what? That fits my budget. I'm going to check it out. I think I'm bought in at this point. I'm going to see what the Club World Cup is all about. I don't know. Tell me what you think. I got a comment in the chat here. John Pyatt says Pulisic led the way for the others to opt out. Yeah, I know I'm not real clear on that. It seems that way. Pulisic plays for AC Milan, and they are not in the Club World Cup. Pulisic's just kicking back. The other guys that I mentioned, their clubs are in the Club World Cup, and maybe they're going to get a chance to play, and maybe there's just too much money being splashed around that they just can't say no to it. But, are we trying to win a World Cup or not? I think if we had players that were motivated and fired up and truly focused on winning the World Cup, they would not only be in this camp, they would be calling up Pulisic and getting his grill a little bit and saying, homeboy, be there. What are you even thinking? Because we have to not only show that we care, but we got to start gelling as a team. Right now, at this point, Our Gold Cup squad is just an opportunity for our manager to check out new players. And that's just not what it should be about. And we're too close to the big show. And I don't know. It's disgusting to me. Um, I would rather have a World Cup squad of nothing but MLS players with heart. I'd rather. I mean, talent means nothing if you're not playing with any heart. If you can only have one, I'd rather have heart over talent, and that seems to be the problem we're at. And I don't know why. It's ridiculous that professional athletes would have that kind of attitude. But anyway, I was really pulling for Vancouver in the CONCACAF Champions Cup final. The CONCACAF has had some form of championship going all the way back to 1962. And in those 63 years, an American club has won exactly 3 times. 1998, DC United, 2000, LA Galaxy, and then nothing for the longest time until and in 2008 they reformatted everything. That's when it became the Champions League, and it became more about group stages and knockout stages, and it became a bigger deal. And we never won that until 2022. Seattle, for the first time in 22 years, and only the third time ever, an American team won the CONCACAF championship. And but we're closing the gap. It seems to always have a Mexican team in the final, and MLS is closing the gap. It is now routine for us to place a team in the final, but it is still obviously exceedingly rare for us to actually win. Seattle won in 2022, and that's been it. So, and not only did Vancouver, who's been setting the pace in the league all year, lose, but they got destroyed 5-0. So I hate to see that, but that's how it goes. In 2023, LAFC made the final against Lyon, and so that's why they ended up with the opportunity to play in that play-in match. Because when Lyon got disqualified, LA had a claim to that spot. But I think Club America was like the highest ranked FIFA rankings for clubs, was the highest ranked CONCACAF team in the world club rankings or something. So they had a claim, and there was a big fuss, and it went to arbitration, and they ended up deciding they were going to have a match to see who goes, and LA won it. So we'll see. Maybe between MLS helping these teams out with a special transfer window, and them hyped up and caring about it, and a whole bunch of money at stake, and maybe Europe's not bringing the English and European clubs are not bringing their best squads because it's the summertime. I mean, does that equal the playing field? I mean, do we have a chance here? I mean, we have one team that's got Messi on it. I mean, I don't know. I'm intrigued. I wasn't intrigued until this week with the Club World Cup, and knowing I'll be able to see all the matches has me excited too. So right now, I'm more excited for the Club World Cup than I am the Gold Cup, and I probably shouldn't be, but I'll be checking those out too. So I'm going to wrap this up real quick. Unless anybody's got any comments in the chat, I'll be glad to hang out to chat a little bit. But I will say this: we got 2 warm-up matches prior to the Gold Cup. Gold Cup starts on the 14th. But before that, we have a couple of warm-up matches. We have a game on Saturday against Turkey, and Saturday afternoon. And then we're going to play Tuesday night in Nashville, not very far away from me, against Switzerland. So right now we have a 27-man roster, and we can only have 26 for the Gold Cup. So after these 2 warm-up matches, there's going to be one dude who gets called into the manager's office and told, you're the guy who can't stay. So we're going to go from 27 guys to 26 in time for the Gold Cup on June 14th. Anyway, let me see. John's got one more comment. Can one of those MLS clubs sign me for the Club World Cup? I think according to league rules, yes, John. Yes, they can. I don't know if they will, but good luck. All right. Let's see how long we've gone. 22 minutes. That's a little better than the 39 minutes from last time. That's all I got. So to sum up, I'm more entrenched and feel even more strongly with what's happened with Pulisic and the Gold Cup. I'm not changing my mind at all. I'm only digging in further. And I'm excited for the Club World Cup. I hope you are too. Got a whole bunch of soccer coming up. I hope that you will watch some soccer with me, and I'll talk to you next time. Now, if I can find out how to end the stream.